All right. So approximately 9:05, while accompanied by law enforcement, the defendant drove his vehicle to the area he claimed to have dropped Maddie off at school. The defendant stopped in the middle of the roadway, and got out of his vehicle. And remember, we saw the body worn camera for this, where he's walking towards the school. He's like, yeah, right over there somewhere, down that way, over there somewhere.
Was it here?
It was along this stretch. I couldn't remember the exact spot, but it was around where these communities were. Oh, thank you. So it's like around where these communities were.
Okay.
And it's just like in this stretch, like we could see the overpass down there.
Where's the school?
Just on the other side of the overpass.
No camera trust right now.
I can't believe in this day and age, there's no cameras pointing on anyone.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if we can find something. Yeah.
We know he's lying. Clearly know he's lying. The cops is like, yo, this is fishy. You could tell by their demeanor that they think he's lying. But anyway, during this time, law enforcement provided the defendant with blank cell phone. I think that's Maddie's cell phone. The defendant claimed they were standing in an area in which he last saw Maddie. Deputy Joseph made contact with a church in the area and went through the video surveillance. I think this was the video that was released very quickly, but we never saw it again. At approximately 12:30 a.m., we saw like a picture of it or something, or somebody like recording it. I distinctly remember seeing that. And then they never showed it again. They scrubbed the internet of it. At approximately 12:30 a.m., Officer Tristan Clark arrived at the home of Jennifer Soto and was greeted by Ms. Soto and the defendant. This is the one we saw that the two YouTuber allegedly speculated was able to obtain, where he's hovering over Jen Soto. He's looking like a dark shadow on her back. You could basically taste the evil, literally taste the evil coming off of this dude. It's like a dark cloud. Remember that one?
I started driving around. I went back to the school. The school was closed.
Melissa screamed she could maybe walk to her grandma's house, but that's a lot further.
Hey, did you see Maddie today? Or is she with you? Because I can't find her. And she said, no, she never made it to first or second period. And I said, what do you mean? I dropped her off at school. And she's like, she never made it to school. And I said, can you please check with the rest of your friends, see if she made it to any of her other periods? At this point, I messaged her teachers directly, and I asked if any of them saw her. 2 of them responded to me. One of them told me she didn't make it to his period, and he also checked her attendance for the rest of the day. She never made it to any of her periods. This is when I knew something was truly wrong, because she was dropped off by him close to the school. She should have made it to school.
Law enforcement was actively searching for Maddie and was unsuccessful. Remember, he kept coming out the house when they were telling him, don't come out the house because you're going to mess with the dog. The dog won't be able to smell if you keep coming out the house. And yeah, he kept coming out the house because he was purposely trying to mess up the search.
Is it other people's dirty clothes or is it just hers? Is her
What about
underwear?
like a pillow that she likes to sleep with?
Her underwear is that, I mean, all that stuff works. Yeah, but you slept on the pillow this morning.
No, that's right. I snuggled with a pillow.
However, Stefan's curiosity will soon create an unexpected barrier to their efforts.
I'm gonna be going like right where you guys are. Yeah. You guys can go inside if you want, because I just don't want him trying to track you guys.
Fascinating to watch.
Yeah. He's a pretty cute little guy. Just as long as everybody's inside. I'm not gonna go inside.
After only a few minutes of searching, Stefan is seen lingering just around the corner, leading to frustration with the canine's handler.
No, sorry. He backtracks a lot, so he kind of just circles.
Yeah.
After being told that it's distracting.
Remember that one? By all accounts, the defendant was the last person to see Madeline on February 26, 2024. So let's go to Detective Tagler. Detective Tagler says, do you mind if I look at your maps real quick? Stern says, yeah, that's fine. Tagler says, thanks.
Does that make sense?
Detective Tagler says, do you mind if I just take a picture of your history? And Stern says, yeah, that's fine. You know what? To be fair to the prosecution, let me read what they say in response to that stuff, because this might change. This might be different. So after she says thanks, they write, the defendant unlocked his cell phone and handed it to Detective Tagler. There is some more clarification with Detective Acosta on the route the defendant took to reach the school and the location where he claimed to have dropped off Madeline. Then Detective Tagler has a phone conversation with the defendant. So it's actually the same thing that we read yesterday. Let's keep going. The defendant and Detective Acosta discuss what time the classes began at Hunters Creek Middle School. Their conversation continued. Tagler goes, "What kind of phone is this?" Defendant, "It's a S23 Ultra, I think." Tagler, "I don't know how to work this thing." Defendant, "I'm sorry. I barely know how to work it myself. Got brain fog." Tagler, "I'm an iPhone person." Defendant, "Oh." Tagler, "Is it okay if I go in your settings real quick? I just want to see if you're logged onto your Google." Defendant, "I'm not logged onto my Google with that actually." Detective Tagler, "Is it okay if I check?" Defendant, "Yeah." So this is very important here, right? So this is consent. I totally believe that the judge is going to deny the motion for the defense. I've said that from day one. The prosecution will win this. The only point that I've tried to make to you guys is that the way that this stuff was done was not best practices. From a professional point of view, that this is not best practices, the way that they went about taking the phones and searching the phones, etc. That doesn't mean that it was wrong. It doesn't mean it was bad. It doesn't mean that the evidence is going to get thrown out. I'm just trying to explain to you guys how these processes are supposed to work in order to be rock solid in court.